fantastic fragger. Even though I do want to see that breakdown at some point. How much of that actually was with Conlet? There was so many frags there with the old spin blade, but it worked out for him. But next up, guys, we are going directly into our next fight. It's gonna be Final Push and Fury Force. Yeah, Final Force and Fury Push. One of those two. Yeah. It's gonna be all sorts of Lizdexia here today.
Checking out these teams.
Yeah.
As we.
Yeah, they're starting to slot in here for sure. Oh God. All right, I'm glad to see Dank Jr. That's a favorite name of mine. And we got Kanga up there too. I can nod my hat. You can tip your hat. You got the hat today. Drug Bud.
So Phazon has the Phazon on Fury Force. Drug Bud, yes. Element X and MDO on Final Push. Yeah. Interesting.
All these fantastic names, and they got a Cody. Jeez. All right, so we're looking for our fourth.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you know which team is which here? I've got Final Push on the left at this point.
Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, Fury Force is on the right.
All right, cool. I had a good guess. All right, so Phazon I've seen play in duels quite a bit, as well as some TDM, I believe. Always pretty solid. A lot of these other names I don't recognize all that much. Cody rings a bell, though. Maybe I've seen him in King of the Hill. I'm not sure. Still looking for a fourth here from Final Push. And of course, it is fascinating the fact that you can only have, one of each champion on each side, which, all those things you're talking about with the roles coming into play. It's even a question, like, if you have a Scale Bear, do you want him out there running towards the enemy obelisk and getting that pickup? Do you want him, sitting back at home using that stack to defend? Do you want him on the power-up? Even though we've got these really kind of, maybe on first glance, obvious roles for these champions, those roles I think are going to morph and change as the game changes and as players get accustomed to it as well.
Well, so one of the great things about Quake, you just ask the question, so with the Scale Bear, how do I want to use the charge? Well, there's like a million different scenarios in
of
which,
course, yeah. That's the beauty of it.
That answer changes, right? What's your position? What's your team's position? What's your enemy's position? What's your stack, their stack? Like, there's so many variables involved that your answer will change based on, a number of things, right? So, maybe your teammate just grabbed, the soul. And he's running out. So I would think a charge past your teammate behind them, right? Clearing anything coming behind them is probably a good idea. As we saw earlier, somebody was running and he had a Sorlag acid spit, right? He threw the acid spit behind his teammate to kind of cover his path. So there's that. Or if you're already there, like you said, do you want to jump on the obelisk right away? Do you want to clear a path as your teammate leaves the opposite of what I said? Do you want to clear the way out? I mean, there's just so many variables, and just to see who's one of the things about who's the best at Quake in the end is who makes those right decisions in a split moment, right? In a split moment, because that's what it's all about. It just needs to happen, in a flash. You can't be thinking about it, because while you're thinking, people are moving and shooting. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks like we have guys coming up here, and we do indeed have our picks coming up. And it looks like we're going over to Ruins and Sarnath once again for our first match. And sometimes, you do have all that strategy, but other times it's, get a clutch, be the biggest hitbox in the game, and pull out that gauntlet.
And then there's the old Mike Tyson saying, right? Everybody has a plan until they get hit, or until they get punched. So it's you have a plan, and then you go in there and somebody rails you 3 times in a row, and you're like, damn, it's going to be one of those games, huh? You do the best you can. That's all you can do. But there is a lot of variables to this game, and you just try to, as long as you keep your head in the game, I feel like you'll improve, and in the end you'll win more matches than you'll lose. So.
Absolutely, and
So
like you
really
mentioned, being able to be in a position to make those rails happen is no small feat either. I mean, the rail is still in a position, it's actually the messiest position on this map at the very least. And then getting back to base is not easy, and then holding down your position so that you can cover every possible entrance into the base. Well, it takes a lot of coordination, it takes a lot of great reflexes, but those are the players who will tend to kind of stand out, at least in terms of the score, but they also have such a huge effect in making everybody else's work a little bit easier.
Prepare your team.
Yeah, just like a good sport, right? You kind of have your top player on your team, and it usually makes things easier for everybody around them. Very disruptive. In Quake, I guess, your best player is very disruptive. Always in the mix, always getting frags, always taking people's stack off, or getting the quad or protection. Just always seems to be there when you need them. So nothing like a good teammate in this game.
Well, we're going to have to see how it plays out here between Final Push and Fury Force. That's enough S for you, but I think we're going to see a lot more as the Soul comes back up here. It's going to be Drugbud getting the pickup as the Scale Bear, making his way through the teleporter, taking out a few bodies in the meantime, and making his way to Obelisk B. Doesn't quite make it. That is now for Phazon and crew to capture and take for their own. Oh, man. Looks like Final Push did all the work, but the last mile there taken away by Fury Force. Phazon doing a bit of damage, but wants to clear off everything he can up here in order to make sure he's got the vantage point. But sometimes that also means that you stick out like a sore thumb. And we have the point still coming towards Fury Force, but it is now being contested. It's going to have to see if anybody from Final Push. It's going to be Q3 Trust getting the pickup and the throwaway just to slow things down a little bit, but he's going to be railed off immediately. The Soul's now down above the stairs for the armor, but oh no, the Soul bounces off the wall, and it's going to be MDO now taking it back over towards A. But as you can see, the trades and the Soul itself are trading hands so many times down there by the railgun. Just a bad place to be.
Yeah, it was messy down there, and Drugbud was just having a field day. He was just sitting there up top shooting down with the railgun, and I think he's hit, like, what is that, 6 in a row right now I've seen? Maybe he's missed one of those 6. He's been landing some rails. Oh, there he finally missed.
All right, so Dank Jr. taken down there once again. We have a lot of frags here coming from Final Push, but they're going to need to pay attention to the power-up here pretty soon. This is actually a good time for them to try to make a trade before the item comes up, but as you can see, things are getting messy, and it's not going to go their way. It's going to be still stuck down here on the stairs, and Phazon is looking to bring it back before the power-up comes up. He's actually, oh no, it's going to be Q3 Trust getting that final grab, final push. But here comes the first push on the power-up.
Yeah, no real presence there for the power-up by either team.
Yeah, it was a huge push on the Soul itself, and he was looking for the grab on the Mega Health. Even though Element has the power-up taken away, at least he's preventing Fury Force, rather, not Final Force or Fury Push, from getting the Soul or the power-up. But he's not really in a useful position until the very end of this protection as it wears off. But they are now catching back up with Fury Force and started to make some points of their own.
Yeah, he was able to grab the heavy armor though too, even though it just got wiped out from. But like you said, it just enabled that little bit of defense. But they have to stay organized here. That may have got him a little push, but they can't rely on that every time.
All right, so Phazon's got the grab in. The pass was very clean as well, so Cody's going to make a very peaceful return of the Soul to Obelisk B, getting the points back in favor for Fury Force. It's going to be a huge attack as literally the rest of his team is chasing the enemies all the way back to base. It's going to be a huge cluster as we see who gets away with it. It's going to be Q3 Trust making the initial play, but again, as you can see, he's incredibly low on health. He needs somebody to hand it off to. It's going to be MDO, who didn't quite use his adrenaline, but he's able to make it all the way back over just in time before dying. But I fear it might not be staying there too long. It's going to be just a couple points in their favor before MDO has to defend it once again. Cody making the pass up top, and you can see from that obelisk point, making a clean pass is a little bit easier than the other side of the map. I guess that's the trade-off between having a base that's easier to defend, but also a lot easier to pull it away from.
Yeah, less obstruction to throw the Soul. Really is a mess right now, but it just seems like Fury Force is just pulling a little bit ahead. A little bit ahead. It seems like it's still really close in the balance. I'm curious to see who gets this next power-up. It could swing.
Yeah, it's coming up in 5 seconds here, so now we're going to be looking for everybody getting in position for it. Phazon is right behind Drugbud here, so it's going to be a good trade-off, even if Drugbud gets taken on down, but it's not going to happen right away. Well, there's the rail from Dank Jr. to take him down, and it's now grabbed away here by Phazon. They're still defending Obelisk B, so all of this fighting is doing Fury Force a lot of good, just by being able to do damage and take the fight away from the Obelisk.
Yeah, nice secure, you know, in terms of team, they were all there for the power-up. Even now, they're all around the power-ups. When they lost it, they were right there to clean up and to make sure the enemy didn't get it. So that definitely always helps. And you got somebody with quad damage defending. I mean, look at this. It's just dead bodies everywhere.
But the last 20% on this first round to go, MDO is going to be fisted on down. And it's going to be a lot of fighting over the nail gun as Cody's getting a nice pair of frags, keeping things well defended. But his Q3 test is going to sneak in, but he cannot sneak out. He can get a toss out, but it's going to be 3 players from Fury Force looking to get that return. It's going to be Kanga coming back in here for the return.
Yeah, looking like really settled in on defense here. Not even going to get to another power up unless they can somehow get a steal. Phazon just lining up some nasty rails right now too.
All right, Kanga hopping back over for the defense, and we've got the last point. There it is. Only 36% taken by Final Push on the first round. We're going to have to see how they do in round 2.
Yeah, definitely going to have to do a better job of the power-ups. You can't just give the other team, right? You're just giving them a quad, and it's just, I don't see how you're going to secure an area or attack an area with the other team running around quad or in protection. I mean, that's just, it's really hard. And then in terms of even just getting momentum and any kind of rhythm, you know, as a team, that's totally disruptive. You know, it's got to do a good job of working together and making sure, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, shooting the same targets, right? Focusing targets.
Yeah, the beautiful thing here is that you have such a great ability, just like in Capture the Flag, to have a huge effect on when it's considered a good time to go for the power-up, depending on when you make the pushes for the flag happen. If everything is, I'm sorry, not flag, soul. If everything's quiet on the soul front before the power-up comes up, then yeah, you're going to have a lot of stacked and players with a lot of weapons showing up to the power-up. If you go for the flag, I'm sorry, the soul, about 10 seconds before the power-up comes up, then the play for the power-up is going to be much, much messier.
Yeah, like I just you gotta be careful splitting though. There's always so many different ways to play it though.
Yeah,
it really depends
absolutely.
on, I mean, how good your team is and who's doing what. And I mean, if it works, right? I mean, in the end, that's what it's about is winning. So I mean, we're sitting here theory crafting.
Absolutely, but that's what we're here for. But I think my POV changed about 5 times there in a single second as we have Element, the last man standing, taking down Drugbud as well, making his way back over towards Obelisk A, and he should be able to get this. He's got one opponent to handle, and Cody's going to get the handle on him, taking away the frag, taking away the soul as well. No, he's going to get bounced out of there. Doesn't quite make it. The fight still continues on that Obelisk as Cody gets the pickup and toss out, but the soul's going to be in an awkward position. Drugbud's going to get the pickup and not quite the rebound just yet, as he's completely body blocked down by the railgun. It looks like people are just throwing themselves into it, but as you can see, MDO getting a pair of gauntlet frags there going, yeah, if everybody's going to be down here, easy grinding for my spin fists.
Yeah, like you said, they were just throwing bodies into that doorway there. We were talking earlier about the choke points on this map, right, to get from one side of the map to the other, and they're just throwing their body and a gauntlet in the way.
All right, so Kanga's trying to get a clean return. Everybody else is fighting over the power-up right now. And even though it's going to be all quiet for the moment, it's not going to last long as somebody with either a quad or a protection is going to show up. In fact, it is Dink Jr. on the protection right now, but as you can see, all sorts of attention is turned towards him and away from the soul at this point. Cody's getting the last pickup there as nobody is making any points off the soul at the very moment. It's dropped over by Fury Force's side of things. Gonna have to see if they can get that pickup and start to get some points back on the board. This is the longest time I've seen any team not have possession of the soul here on an Obelisk.
Yeah, I was actually, it's funny, I was just about to mention how this is like really close and in the balance, and nobody's getting percentage points right now. Nobody can seem to get a handle on things. So even after, right, we've already had one power up. Usually it stabilizes a little bit after a power up, but so far nothing. See if Fury Force gets it going now as they finally got it back to their point B. And we got a power up again in less than a minute here, 55 seconds. So that's going to be another, you know, a chance for the other team to turn it around right now.
MDO with a beautiful rocket jump. He's in, he's out, he's clean, and he's got the soul back onto his own Obelisk. Defending it is going to be another story, as nobody on his team is actually there. Everybody's mixed up in mid, but if it's a choice between high and low, well, Phazon was going to try to go high there, but it's taken right back over to Final Push's base.
A big steal by Final Push. Now if they can secure a power up here, right, in about 20 seconds, because they're defending, it's going to be tied. They'll have the lead after the power up. They defend the whole way. It could be big. They can get a huge lead.
Jeez. All right, so as we heard there, 15 seconds before the power up comes back up, but the soul is also back in the hands of Final Push. And they are now catching up and exceeding the score. from Fury.
Power-up spawn.
There we go, we have it.
Has the protection.
It's going to be protection taken away by Cody here. He's only at 4 health. Protection or not, he might not be long for the world as one little bit of machine gun takes him on down. Dank Jr.'s getting the pickup, and he's got plenty of health to burn at this point. And he needs to get that grabbed and put back in his own base. He's looking for the soul carry. He's going to find him. It's going to be a clutch, unfortunately, and everybody's paying attention to him. But look at this. He's making some awesome rails and getting the body block as well. He's going to be single-handedly preventing anybody from preventing that grab onto the obelisk. Beautiful play there. Nice.
Wow, really messy over there.
Yeah,
Good
but the
cleanup.
body block with the
Cleanup.
protection really made that play possible. The rest of Final Push making their way back over to the obelisk and having a fantastic defense. We do have Q3 Trust breaking away to grab a Mega Health very briefly, and that's going to make things very messy here as Drugbug gets a nice double rail, and it's going to be Kanga, only 8 HP. Wanted to maybe take a hit of his drugs before getting the soul, but he's going to make his way downtown and out of here. And there's the nice rebound. I was like, did that Anarchy just turn into a Scale Bear? No, it was just a beautifully passed soul. And that's going to get some points back on the board for Fury Force.
Yeah, nice charge there by Drugbud. Get a kill. Always enjoy watching those. He just ran right into that light character and just disappeared into a pile of blood.
All right, the soul still in Fury Force's possession as they're now catching back up. It's a little bit of a lull at this point, the first breath we've gotten, but that's just because the power-up's coming up soon and everybody's trying to figure out where they need to be, where everybody else is positioning, whether they want to risk that power-up going to the enemy's hands. But right now, Fury Force absolutely needs to make some points to catch back up here, so it's going to be all about these fights. MDL catching him from the side, though. It's going to make things kind of dangerous as the power-up comes back up. He's going to have actually perfect timing as it comes up, but it's not going to be taken away by him.
Yeah, they've been getting the power-ups, I think. I don't know if the other team has they gotten one? Has Final Push gotten one? Maybe one? Oh, they took the one, but yeah, I don't think they've gotten one on a pickup.
No. All right, so we still have Cody with the pent in hands. And they've now caught up and exceeded the score from Final Push, making this potentially the final round if Final Push can't do anything about it. Kanga's going to get taken on down. Dank Jr. trading the frag. Not worth it right now. They need bodies on the obelisk. All right, we should see a grab here pretty soon. Nope. Looks like Final Force or Fury Force is doing a pretty good job of keeping that grabbed. There we have Element getting the last possible moment pickup, but it might not be long for the world as he tosses it down towards Rail. That's going to stay in the upper story here for the moment as Phazon is looking for the return for these last few points. There is the pickup. Oh, it's not going to go very far, though.
Relatively close. I'm looking at the scoreboard a little bit. It's just Fury Force seems to have a little bit of an edge here, and in terms of just who's winning the fights. I'm looking at kill-death ratios.
All right, but there it is. Ruins of Sarnath going over to Fury Force. Nicely done.
Yeah, you got to think about all the the power-ups they got for free, right? Quads and protections. Sure. Well, I mean, not for free. I mean, it just didn't seem like Final Push really had a cohesive strategy to get that power-up. And I mean, they didn't pick up one. I mean, I don't know. If you were to tell me in a team game that my team's not going to get a single quad or protection, during the match, I'm going to say, well, then we're probably not going to win that match. It's just something that never bodes well.
It's a difficult gambit for sure, because if you have somebody like a clutch taking a protection away from you, on one hand, you know that any attention given towards that clutch is going to be wasted because you're just doing a lot of damage. It's going to take a lot of work to get them knocked down and potentially get the protection back yourself. In the meantime, the rest of the team is swarming around you as well. But at the same time, if you ignore that clutch and he's coming into your base with full health, he's going to get that soul no problem. So it's a difficult decision.
And give Fury Force credit too. They had a plan. It seemed like they were just planning. They plant their clutch right there on Sarnath, where the power-up's going to spawn. You pop a shield. You keep the jump pad to your back. You have support there by rocket launcher. You have nothing to worry about there. And it was a clean pickup. But what enabled that to be so clean is because it didn't seem like Final Push was really making any push,
right?
To get the power up. So Good job. You got to give credit to Fury Force for locking down the power-ups and getting the win, right? That's what Quake's about. And obviously they were, enabled them. Like I said, I was looking at the scoreboard about the kill death ratios, and you got to wonder, yeah, they had a little edge there. And getting power-ups certainly helps in those big team fights.
Yeah, there's always that moment where you get the soul back to your obelisk and you think, okay, cool, we're winning the fights. There aren't too many people attacking right now. Where oh, the power-up's coming up, right? And everybody needs to reposition. It's something that you have to have your mind and possibly body in 2 or 3 places all at the same time, for sure. Oh boy, we're going over.
Yeah, I've certainly done it. Fighting over the soul or whatever, and next thing you know, quad is smile. You're like, oh no, like wait, I'm not even anywhere close. It's like, what, oops.
Yeah, everybody starts pointing at each other like, you should go for power up. I'll stay here. No, you should. All right, but you should have those rules sort of predefined before things. But so far, Fury Force seems to have it worked out. We'll have to see how it works though on Lockbox. And it looks like we are sticking with most of our champ picks here. We've got Cody still on a beautiful pearlescent clutch. I give him 8 out of 10 on the Quake fashion. Dank Jr. still holding on to his skill bearer, as does Drugbud on the other side of things. And Lockbox has, I want to say the choke points aren't as brutal as Runes and Sarnath, and technically they are wider, but the stairs and the vertical changes are so intense here. It's difficult to make that music
I don't have a lot of...
No?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience on Lockbox. Ran around it a little bit, not a lot of... shooting experience on it.
It's cool. It has a really good middle atrium, but that middle atrium has so many different ways to play it, so many different ways to position. And again, moving from the central atrium to any of the pillars means you are going up, literally uphill. There are jump pads to go through, there are stairs to get through, and it makes the defensive game really push out from the obelisk room a lot, compared to Ruins of Sarnath, where a lot of the defense is, directly on the obelisk.
And it seemed like the portal, right? You can go from the rocket launcher to the heavy armor. It seemed like that was a pretty useful area as well, even though it's on the bottom. But you can get back to the top with that little portal control.
And then you get telefragged on the heavy armor as well. That's a lot of fun.
Of course. That's always fun. Well, I expect with the way things have been going today, I expect somebody to be sitting there with a gauntlet ready to go.
Yeah.
So. I mean, we've seen so many gauntlet kills today. Yesterday we got slash, trail kills in Duel like 3 times. Today we're getting, we started with a plethora of gauntlet kills today. I like the way this weekend's going. We're just going a little Quake craziness. So it's good.
That's what we like here for sure. Just making sure I got everything straightened away here. Yes, we do indeed. All right. But yeah, this map is completely new for Quake Champions, of course. Played a lot in TDM and, of course, here in Sacrifice. And I really do like the layout. It's got a lot of really interesting areas that kind of blend into each other in a non-linear way. If you get caught in a fight, there's lots of opportunities to maybe go up a jump pad, go through a teleporter, and get out of there and approach from a different location. But when you throw 8 players into it, things are going to get chaotic for sure, as we're about to see.
3, 2.
You can definitely run out of room fast. 8 people running around. I'm looking forward to somebody getting knocked into the acid and dying that way. That's always fun.
Nice. It didn't take long at all there for for Fury Force to start making a bit of a play here, both on the Soul Room and the Central Atrium in general, where you have that rocket launcher spawning back up. But here it comes. Nicely done out of Phazon. Beautiful LG. So many frags as he's able to move back into the middle area and start to go on the hunt for the Soul. In fact, it's going to be taken away and dominated over to the Obelisk B position.
Yeah, you could see they were just really grouped together, covering their Soul Carrier, and Phazon was just, laying them down with the lightning gun as they tried to pursue. It's good work, just good teamwork and good work by Phazon individually.
But only 8% taken away there by Fury Force, as we have Drugbud trying to get it back over towards his own base here. It's going to be a long walk, however, but he's getting some helpful rails and machine gun to take him along the way. Taking him back over by MDO, he's got to make the same trek that his opponent was, as Cody now has possession of it. He's got to really watch out. He's got a great stack. He's got Mega. He's got a little bit of armor. Kanga is going to be the one to pick it back up and bring it back in. But no, he's got a sword light to deal with. Dank Jr. is indeed going to be taking him on down.
Yeah, just camped out, waiting for him to come right to him.
Nice.
Still good. Looks like they're getting a handle on this though. Just a little bit, yeah. Starting to settle in. On initial scrums, that could start to go their way. And we got the power up. So if they secure this power up here, in which they've been doing every round so far, you know, the Fury Force will be in great shape.
Nice pair of rails there from Element to take down Cody, who was ostensibly controlling the area up top, but it might not last all that long. We have about 10 seconds before the power up comes back up. Element is trying to make the push for it right now. It's going to be a difficult one here in the ramp room. As you can see, the rockets flying either way. Cody with 9 HP left is going to make the return just as the power comes back up, which is great timing for Final Force. Fury Force, yeah.
Fury push, final Force. We can mix and match.
Yeah, for sure. All right, but Dang Jr. with the protection is able to get in, get the soul, and get out of there. He's got a few teammates body blocking his way. He's looking for a clean way back over to the other obelisk. But he's got plenty of health, plenty of time to make his way back over and find a clean route. There it is, and now they're starting to accrue some of their first points. Nice rockets for sure. A lot of beautiful spam coming out of Dink Jr. Finally getting the frag on Drugbud, but he's got Cody there to take him on down. But fortunately for him, or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, it's a mutual fight. As Dink Jr. and crew still have it in their own possession. Now it's taken away at this point. Let's go see who's got his
rockets flying everywhere around that obelisk.
Yeah, for sure. And you really do need an Anarchy to be the one running the soul here. I mean, you do have a few options of routes, so you can potentially find a quiet one, but there is so much distance to cover that you need somebody incredibly fast to make it realistic.
Yeah, you know, and you have these larger tank carry classes. You see it all the time when they try to get away. I mean, just everybody shooting them with machine gun, lightning gun. I mean, just lighting them up with hit scan. I mean, it's just so hard to get away.
Absolutely. All right, Drugbug, nice pair of rockets there, but we're going to be following Cody as he comes back up. He wants to take a split splash in the acid real quick, but no, he really wanted some weapons. We have Q through Trust making a pickup, making a toss, but it tosses it to an opponent instead, unfortunately. That was a nice triple frag at that point, so that Dink Jr. can maybe get out of the room for free. Of course, this is Sorlike. He doesn't have a lot of natural speed, but he can keep the speed a little bit there with the nice rocket jump as well as the air control. There's the grab, there's the play. And he's going to be getting back into a position up top to try to get some health, but everybody knows where he's headed. And he's going to be taken down very quickly. There's going to be one extinct Sorlag as he spawns back up mid-map. You have so many spawns in mid, which is handy with the power-up coming back up. And a beautiful rocket jump, but unfortunately he got everybody but the power-up carrier. And it is indeed going to be, it's going to be Cody on the power-up.
Yeah, again, they're doing an excellent job overall on the power-ups. I was wondering who's going to get that one. This round's pretty much in the balance, so you know, getting the power-ups again, it's always a big swing. I mean, it could really, it just impacts the game so much. You know, you go on a nice run and start clearing things out for your teammates, and your teammates start getting stacked, you know, and it just makes everything go easier, and it really gets some momentum going.
Ugh. What an explosion of frags there. It looked like everybody was waiting for that clutch shield to drop down before the shots open up, but once they did, bodies certainly did start hitting the floor. 72% now for Fury Force, as Cody's just looking for a few junky frags in mid-map, which is great for his team. Junky frag mid-map means that there won't be any important frags on the obelisk itself. But Q3 Trust is coming back in. The frag is traded, however, so we won't be making a very strong attack on the obelisk just at this point. Frag is about to be taken up here. Cody's going to go for the grab.
Azon's got some decent position right here. Oh, that rocket's going to hurt, though. Knocked him off. Good stuff by Trust, even though he suicided. I mean, pushed his man off. They got to do something. Desperation time now. They got to get on that thing.
Absolutely, but they don't have much time for it now, as Cody is going to be taking a little bit of a victory tap dance around the obelisk. And there it goes. We have the first round once again going over to Fury Force.
Again, I got to harp on it. It's the power-ups. That's what I mean. That's, yeah. They're winning. I mean, it's a huge part of it. I mean, I'm not saying it's everything why they're winning the match, but it's definitely helping them, you know, apply whatever team strategy they're applying. So, final push, they really got to do a better job of being there. You saw it last time too. They getting too caught up in the scrum over the soul.
Beautiful play there out of Cody, just popping up the shield to let a Sorlike behind him throughout the rockets. Really well coordinated. And that's going to, at least very temporarily, win them the soul room. Is it going to be the first grab, though? Yes, it will be. Drugbud getting the grab, picking up a little bit of speed around the health, and now making his way back over towards Obelisk B. It's going to be a fairly clean one. No, he's got one enemy to play him down. It's going to be Trust getting a pair of rails to get the frag, but not quite. turning it into anything useful. It bought them a little bit of time, but we do have Phazon getting Obelisk B for Fury Force.
Yeah, way to be there. Way to be there for Drug Bud. Phazon backing him up like that. That's a good job by him.
Right, so Element.
I mean, even if they don't get a whole lot of percentages here, right? The objective there, they got the Obelisk they wanted to. So in the long term, that's the beginning started how they wanted.
Yeah, because the maps are asymmetrical, I mean, you're just going to end up practicing one side more than the other. You're going to choose one over the other for kind of ambiguous reasons at this point. I think it's still really arguable in all of these maps, which is really the better choice. But, still, you're going to pick one to practice, and that's going to be the one that you feel most comfortable on. So that first pickup through with the Obelisk ends up being incredibly important. Phazon with a nice default shotgun frag there, as we should see a grab for the Soul here pretty soon. Yep, indeed, it's going to be Phazon even, as he's looking for a pass to a teammate. Q3 Trust is going, no, I don't want it, you take it. Phazon and everybody else is trading off the Soul, but it's going to be Kanga around the corner with the Gauntlet, getting the frag, getting the grab, and making his way back over towards Obelisk B. But we do have the power-up spawning up in 10 seconds. It's going to be everything here if Final Push can get a grab. Oof.
Defend point B.
Because they already have the Obelisk right now, so...
Power up spawn.
Perhaps going to be up, and it's going to be getting dusty just for a second there before Tress gets the grab for the Pence. Cody's going to have plenty of health on that rebound, though. And once again, it's going to be Fury Force keeping control of the power for the bulk of it, and you can see that everybody trying to frag him, he can just walk up to them with the rocket launcher and go, nope, I'm just going to be doing all the damage here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and just in case, he still has his shield. So, I mean, good luck right now.
You ever see a sarcastic play out of a clutch? Well, when he's got protection, yes, you will, absolutely. He's just throwing rails around like, I'll hit what I hit, but no big deal. But he's finally pulled on down. And we have the Soul returning back over to Cody. I'm sorry, it's going to be Drug Bud with the grab.
Again, kind of like that round we saw in Sarnath. Starting off a little slow with the percentages. Nobody, settled in for too long here on their defense. We're almost getting to that second power-up and just getting into the 20 percentile now for Fury Force.
And every time we see a sniper try to set up in a position, there's a beautiful flank from an Anarchy or a Nyx to make sure that's not going to happen. So you are never really safe, even when defending your own base here. All right, Drug Bud going down the toilet, back into mid. We've got Mega taken away already, so he's not going to find anything useful there. Like you said, we have the next power-up just around the corner. But we have Fury Force getting all the points right now. We have Dank Jr. making a pretty good and well-timed grab of the Soul. But where is the support from the rest of the team? There it is from MDO, making his way back out. And this is really well-timed if they can make their way back over to A before the power-up comes back up. He's out through mid. He's cleanly through there. He's back into the Obelisk room. And there it is, beautifully timed. Let's see if they can hold on to it. But look at this. We have Fury Force already coming back in. If he can get both of these frags, yeah, that's going to be a huge advantage to hold on to the Soul as the power-up comes up. But who's going to get the pickup here?
Who's going to get it? Yeah.
It's going to be Dank Jr. Awesome. And he's got plenty of health. Look at this. The Sorlag with health, with armor, and with the railgun ready to hold on to the defense for the Soul. But unbeknownst to them, it was actually taken away this whole time. Unbeknownst to me anyway. And now, instead of defending the Soul, he's got to turn this defense into an attack. He's got the frags, but he has no rocket launcher. Even with this, with the protection, he's just going to be pummeled one way and the other.
Yep, that's just immediately. It's funny you said it right there. I was thinking it earlier when he was running around. I was like, too bad he doesn't have a rocket launcher right now. It's kind of like the ultimate thing to have when you have protection and you just stacked with the Sorlag. I mean, you want to get in people's faces. The railgun was certainly not ideal. I mean, you can make anything work. Don't get me wrong, but not ideal.
Yeah, it's a license to not need to worry about aim too much. Just walk up to them and hold down the trigger. It's a beautiful thing. But now we have Fury Force back in possession of the Soul. And Cody making a beautiful pair of frags. And he's looking for more here as well. He's got shield ready to go, looking for the plus forward, but it's going to be Element getting a few rockets past the shield and getting the Soul with only 20 health left over. He goes for the rocket jump. It doesn't quite go his way, and everybody's going to know exactly where he's at now. But there's Dank Jr. on the grab. But here comes the response from Cody. Nice pair of suicides there. You can see that this clutch has taken so much damage, he's eventually going to get MG down. Element X has just been brutal with that machine gun. There's MDO on the pickup, 23% to 74. MDO has all sorts of pressure on him right now, both game-wise and rocket-wise. But there's Kanga looking to bring it back over to Obelisk B. Fury Force still strongly in control of everything here.
Yeah, rockets flying everywhere on this map. Be careful going through those high traffic areas right now, because it could just be a rocket flying across the hallway.
15 seconds.
Nice. All right, so Phazon getting it back in. We're going to be at the last 20% for Fury Force as the power-up comes up. And like you said, it is going to be all about who gets this grab. It's going to be Dink Jr. It's a quad this time around. So if you can bring this into Obelisk B and get a few solid frags, and somebody else from his team can get the grab and make it back in. But look at this. He's got everybody coming after him. He's got rockets. He's got rails, but he's being so precious about his health right now. He's looking for the defensive play, trying to run a little bit of interference for his teammate, but it doesn't quite go his way. We have MDO with the soul, but not for long.
Yeah, they got the quad back though, even after that death. So, but yeah, no soul though. I mean, this is even when it seemed like it could go their way, even just a little bit, it didn't.
Nice,
good win.
So nice pair of rounds once again there from Fury Force as they advance forward in the bracket. Final Push is going to have their final game here today, at least when it comes to the sacrifice qualifiers, but we still have a lot more games coming up. Gonna have to see how this goes. And I want to take a look at these KDRs too. I mean, there were a lot of really messy fights there.
Yeah, nice.
Element was having a bit of a tough day as that Ranger 16 and 35. Dank Jr. actually 12 and 25 as a Sorlai, but the standout plays really coming out of Cody and Q3 Trust. And remarkable to see those KDR spreads coming out of a Clutch and a Nyx respectively. Really takes a lot of awareness to play a Nyx effectively in Sacrifice.
Yeah, I saw some scenarios, man. Cody was really just kind of rocking the rocket launcher, you know, getting in there, those team fights, and taking 2-3 guys out at a time around, you know, the point. And it's just a good job. I think he had some a couple protection runs as well, you know. So just a good job overall. He seemed to just be in the right place at the right time for his team. When they needed him, he was there. So always a little bit, you know, always need a little bit of the Quake gods on your side to get a good build-up ratio in Team Quake, right? 'Cause there's so much going on. You don't know if somebody's just going to come from behind you and just totally wreck you, you know. So it's up to, you know, one game, you know, you're getting completely destroyed from a guy from behind. The next game, your teammate is in the right place at the right time, and it's yeah, and you know, it's just and is there to take him out before he shoots you, you know. So
yeah, you start really looking for those frag runs, but because you actually have to stay at the obelisk for a couple seconds, you know, you could be there getting 1, 2, 3 frags, but that whole time you've got the rest of the teammates coming their way, and even the fresh spawns coming in mid, ready to be a bit of a problem for you as well. So, you know, compared to CTF, you can't just whoosh in, get the flag, and be out of there, even though a lot of CTF maps actually kind of prevented you from doing that. You know, things like Jap Castle, things like Ironworks, you have to spend a little bit more time setting up your play into and out of the base. But here, you know, you can get the Mega, you can get the heavy armor, you can think you're ready to go, but that time you have to spend there on the obelisk means it's going to be a fight no matter what.
Yeah, and then, of course, as we mentioned, so easy to lose track of the other things going on in the map. You know, one's the heavy armor, one's the mega health, one's that quad, one's that protection. So busy fighting and thinking, running back, like, oh no, you know, quad's up, and it's such a short-lived victory. You know, you have that oh no feeling when you hear enemy has the quad, and you're running back with the soul, and you're like, you know, I'm gonna cap, but you know, quad's right behind me. You know, it's very, very frustrating when that happens sometimes because you don't know what to do. So you just hope your teammates can rally and, you know, take down the quad carrier, and hopefully you can turn the tide somehow. Yeah, so you just got to work together, and Quake is, you can't get emotional, right? It can get so psychological.
You do
too,
though.
Quake is another, right? I know, but it's so psychological. Like,
yeah,
I was talking to people how it's easy. You can't get caught up in the shot you just missed or the play that just happened, because you still have the next shot, you still have the next play, and it's so easy to do that because, you know, something didn't go your way, and then next thing you know, oh, you missed the jump pad rail, you know, just an easy gimme shot, you know, and then you miss, and then you start thinking to yourself like, oh man, I should have had that shot, and you're thinking about that, oh, if I hit that shot, you know, I would have had that mega, and if I would have had that mega, you know, you can't go down that road at all.
Yeah, it's a cascade for sure.
Yeah, just don't. Just forget about it. You miss, you know, just focus on the fact that you set up a good shot. You're in position to take a jump pad rail, and try to set up more of those, and just keep your head in the game, because, you know, psychology in Quake is huge.
Absolutely. So guys, what we're going to do, and I do completely agree there, and the beautiful thing about a new game is that finding out where those edges are, finding out what that possibility space is, finding out what the good choices versus the bad choices are, is still shaking out a little bit. And we are still only in the qualifiers here. We're not even at regionals yet. So we are starting to see some of the cream rise to the top here. Meanwhile, everybody else better pay close attention and find out what they need to be doing to excel here in Quake Champion Sacrifice. But we're going to take, I believe, a small break as we figure out what our next game is. We have got plenty more here, which is good news for the teams, good news for you. And, well, just safe to say, I think we've both got plenty of caffeine to get us through it. And, man, not because it's tiring, but there is just so much going on the screen, you know, from every player. Every player has a different mindset of where they need to be, what they need to be focused on, and getting there, of course, as you can see, is no easy feat.
Yeah, like I said, it's a big mental game. So even tracking everything, you know, watching and keeping up with the action, and you know, thank goodness to have those little helpful timers for us, you know, for the health and armor.
Yeah.
When I was first spectating, you know, I was sitting there, I didn't even realize those were up there. I was just timing them like I would in a duel. I was like, oh wait, those are, oh thank goodness, because I was like, this is gonna get really tiring if I'm sitting here timing the whole time.
All right, so let me get these punched in here as we find our next teams. It's going to be When in Doubt versus Cute Boys again. If you thought you were done with those Cute Boys, we certainly aren't. But When in Doubt, Gauntlet Out is the whole name, actually. Oh, geez, how am I going to acronym that? That is a massive name. I need to, all right. When in Doubt, Gauntlet Out, yeah. Widgo? Widgo and End back, yeah. That'll fit on a jersey for sure.
Gauntlets Out. Just call them Gauntlets Out.
Sure, sure.
That's what I go with. That's what I did last time. I just call them Gauntlets Out.
Works for me.
That's what they're going for. That's what they're going for.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut over there as we look for these players to slot on in, but it won't be long before we're right back into Sacrifice. Stay tuned.